Welcome everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to our first intuitive Q&A or intuitive guidance with Bequest on a Sunday night from Melbourne.
Yes, lovely sunny Melbourne.
Lovely sunny Melbourne. It's actually not been too bad.
No, it's been very nice weather. Yeah, it's been great weather. We had a massive week. So last week we weren't on, guys, because we were driving down.
We were legit driving down to Melbourne, as you do when you get 5 days notice to move interstate.
Yes. So yes, it's been a rather big week, and I was blank.
So hello.
Okay. So yes, intuitive Q&A. Anyone with any questions, any recurring issues,
any dreams?
Any dreams? Yeah, something a bit more specific than just what can you see for me?
Yeah, or can I get a reading? Or when am I going to find a partner? Or
any of that stuff.
Any of that stuff. We kind of like juicy, specific questions.
Yeah. So if you've got recurring problems, if you've got just things that you notice that keep happening, dreams, dream interpretation, anything to that. Yes, and thank you for the welcomes to Melbourne.
Thank you.
So we'll be running live sessions from here very soon, in the next couple of weeks once we finish getting settled in.
So we get our shit together and get sorted out.
Well, we find another place. We're moving out of this one tomorrow. We'll be in another one for a week. Where have I gone so wrong? I don't know. Again, that's a little bit of a broad question there. It's much more better. We want to guide you with intuitive stuff so that we don't just keep answering everyone's questions. We help people as we work with them. We guide them to using their own intuition.
Yes.
So if you can get a little bit more specific, what things aren't working for you. A lot of the stuff is just the way we talk, like subconscious programming. Yes. We can joke ourselves into bad luck. We can joke ourselves into bad situations, as we've experienced. So the subconscious mind works with the intuition, works with the body. They all work kind of as one. And so things that show up in the body are on our subconscious mind picks up everything we say. And it doesn't have a sense of humor.
It doesn't.
So it takes jokes as literal. So if you joke, I'm headed to the poorhouse, I'm headed to the poorhouse all the time, after a while, the subconscious thing put you into the poorhouse.
I heard one lady at a coffee shop a few weeks ago, throw the off comment, "Oh no, I'll wait until I'm broke before I'll use my free coffee card." That kind of comment.
She probably uses that comment all the time.
Yep. Lo and behold,
eventually she'll end up broke.
Energy goes where thought flows, so she'll end up broke with her coffee card.
Yeah. So you can, and when we say these things, it's the repetition and the emotion behind it. This is why jokes actually have more of an effect, because there's an emotion behind, there's a joy emotion behind jokes. So jokes can really program the subconscious mind. So if you're going to joke, don't joke derogatory, joke positive.
Yeah.
With a bit of laughter.
Just got to have these things.
Yes.
I'm just going to go into the questions here. Some of them are still really specific, are non-specific.
Yeah.
So we'd love to take some questions, but we want to.
So just a little one from Natasha about the in-laws hating you. There's the main why for that is a lot of times they've just got preconceived ideas and notions that the in-laws, it feels like with my mother when she was alive, God bless her, no partner of mine was ever good enough for her. It's because it had nothing to do with them. It's just because I was her boy, and there was never ever going to be anyone that was good enough. Could have been, could have been anyone. It could have been Princess Diana. It wouldn't have been good enough, and she loved her. so sometimes, a lot of the times with the in-laws, you just got to let it go, and you just got to say, look, one of the things we do is, we hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. So just stop thinking that they hate you, for starters. Natasha, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, Natasha.
Yeah. Stop thinking that they hate you for anything that you've done. Maybe they just, maybe they're just projecting outwards. Maybe they just hurt on the inside. Maybe they've got caught up in their own judgment. So you just say, okay, even though they don't know it, deep at the center, they want the best for their son, and they do want that for me if they knew what was really going on. And if you keep doing that, that's going to give it a big chance for it to turn around. It might take, like we've done it with people. It's only taken a day or two just to change that thought and constantly say, well,
that's right.
At their core, their real self, the heart of hearts wants the best for it and loves all of our heart of hearts, loves everybody. and has no hatred towards anyone. So when people are projecting a lot of that, you just go at their core, their soul, if you want to call it their soul, their true heart, it loves everybody and it doesn't hate me. And, you know, they might be caught up in the illusion of the right and wrong and the good and bad, this dualistic world that most people believe in. And we create evil, but evil doesn't really exist. It only exists because we create it. But in the real world, in oneness, there is no evil, there is no bad. It's all just one energy, and it's all just love. It's only man that creates the other. It has an effect. We create it, and it has an effect. I'm not saying it doesn't have an effect, but if you stop buying into it and stop believing it, and just, you know, one of my mantras for the last 2-3 months has been the funny one, you know, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. I've got the little three monkeys. And I just do that when anyone says anything bad. If I go, oh, these people hate this and that, I just go, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. And it changes so quickly.
You know, so, you know, you might think that they hate you, but you don't really know for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, if you're going to keep telling yourself, why do they hate me? Why do they hate me?
And they might say they hate you, but that is not the real them that's saying it. That's so even them, that's the ego, if you want to call it the ego, we call it the intellect. That's the false self. That's the separate self that sees itself separate from life. That's not even the real them. So even if they say it, even if they're adamant that they hate you and they tell you, that's still not true, because the true self can't hate anything, can't hate anyone. So
maybe just talk through commands. So, you know, it seems, or maybe I thought that they hated me, or it seems like they might have done, but I don't know that. You know, just talk yourself through that a little bit. Try to undo that filter that you've created.
You know, I was doing it with some people recently. I hadn't even realized I'd done it because it was so subtle. It was just my feelings saying that. My feelings were saying, you know, they hate me. And it's like, and I just started saying their real self, their soul doesn't hate me. The true self doesn't hate me. It's their illusion. It's the illusion that they're caught up in, that there's two powers, that there's good and evil in the world. That's the part, that the separate self is the part that hates, even if it is hating. And I don't even know that it's really hating me. It could be hating something else. They hate the fact that you're doing something they want to do. Yes. So we'll move on to...
Okay, Layla. I had a dream of having a teardrop from my eye. What does that mean? I have difficulty trusting people as I've been backstabbed by the people that I have helped in the past.
Okay, so the teardrop from one eye, generally the teardrops, whether in a dream or not in a dream, the tears are often representing of they can release actually chemicals. So sometimes when we cry and we have emotional release, when I do emotional release healing, there's different tears that come out, and some of them will burn. Like there'll just be one tear and it'll come down and it'll burn. That's releasing the acid and the chemical in the body that often turns into cancer eventually. So depending on which eye it was, whether it was the left or the right, one teardrop can it's a really difficult one. That one, it's not the easiest dream to interpret, because there is so many meanings to the teardrop for the eyes.
So for me, it feels as though an emotional release, perhaps something that you work through at night, like while she was sleeping.
Yes, and often now, you know, it's our feelings crying, letting go of that, letting go. You know, quite often when I have healings with people, the emotional tears that come out are not even the tears for themselves; it's tears for humanity. I call it tears that, you know, for the way that other people are seeing. So these people that backstab you, maybe it's genuine tears of compassion towards them from your soul. Is one of the things I'm thinking. It's not, you know, you can't understand why people would do that. And it's coming, if you look at it on the left or right, it might be male or female, or it may be to do with your physical or spiritual world as well.
Okay, right. So, how about this one? Rachel. It's been 4 years since my father committed suicide. Lately, I've been having dreams of him like he's still here.
That's quite common, Rachel. It's a good sign. That means that he didn't get stuck here. If you're having dreams of him like he's still here, usually that's when they're passed over. Because if they're stuck here, especially with suicide, sometimes they can keep themselves earthbound. And if you're having dreams, you won't have dreams of them then, or they will. You might, but they'll be really funky dreams, and that's kind of a good sign. But like my father, or one of my fathers, I was adopted, but one of my fathers died 22 years ago, and even last week, I think it was, I had another dream of him that he was here and he was like talking to me about moving and stuff. And it's funny because I actually have a laugh with him in the dream. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't talk to me. You're dead. You know, I actually have that conversation with him in the dream. And it's just like, So it's just that he's just showing you that he's still around, that everything's okay. A lot of the times when we feel bad, when we think about them, that bad feeling, again, this is our intuition telling us that it's not true.
Yes.
When I used to get this bad feeling when I'd miss someone, like especially my real mother, and every time I get this bad feeling, I found out later on that that's when she was around. So then I would think I'm missing her more, and I'd feel this, and I would think the bad feeling was the truth. And the bad feeling was my intuition saying, "Stop feeling bad. She's actually here right now." You know? So, yeah.
Yeah, we're diving into, I guess, a deeper part of that tool at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So there's more on that to come, but the actual emotions that we're feeling are actually our intuition telling us that it's actually not true, or what we think's coming is not true.
So one of our tools that we're sharing is called "If It Animates You, It's in You," but this is a much deeper one, that every pain, every stress, everything you feel is your intuition saying that either what you're thinking or the result of what you're thinking is not true. And this is a massive, massive tool, and it's just starting to go deep on us. So we're really working through it at the moment because we've just uprooted our whole lives and moved to Melbourne. So
as you do,
kids are still up in Sydney. So
got to follow that hunch.
Yeah, we're following our hunch, and it seems to be paying off very well, even though we're running by the seat of our pants at the moment.
Yeah. Okay, Nat Lowe. I'm in the middle of getting organised to set up for intuitive spiritual development classes. Sometimes I have self-doubt moments of thinking, what am I doing? Can I pull this off? What do you think?
Look, we're right. You're talking to the professionals right now. You know, we came down here without any money. This is why we haven't got our permanent place yet.
Yeah.
We just packed up. We got a job here, had a job in that, but you know, we came down here without any money, without any contacts, without anything. And you'll have those moments. Those moments are fine as long as you don't sit in them for too long. They need to. That's unburying all the crap in the subconscious mind. So, like, I still go through it like at least 5 or 10 times a day, but it only happens for a couple of minutes now. You know, before we're moving down here, I would sit in it for anything up to 4 hours a day. It would be playing in the back of my mind, and that's okay while you're doing this, as long as you're moving forward.
As long as you don't buy into it.
Yeah,
right? Use it as a tool to see what are those fears that are coming up. You know, so it's like, what am I doing? Kind of like, what were you thinking around that time? And actually see if you can try to use it as a positive and work through that situation and get rid of that fear, and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, so it's perfect, and just keep working with it and don't expect it to be perfect.
Yeah.
If you get guided, like a lot of the times we get guided, the amount of times I do intuitive readings, and when I used to do psychic readings, they would tell me to tell something to somebody, and I would tell them, and afterwards the person would leave. I said, that was a lie. That was a deliberate lie. I know it was my intuition.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, but we have to lie to them to get them from point A to point B, because then they'll meet up with somebody else, and it's the way to synchronize them. So they'll do it to me. I'm going, you're telling me that lie again, to see if I can get me over there so that I can meet up with someone else so I can actually work out where I need to go. So just go with it. Know that those doubts are supposed to come up to clear the subconscious. It's all part of the process of, you don't just become positive all in one go. Well, you can, and I'm not going to stop anyone from doing that ever.
Yeah.
But if you know how, can you get on here and teach us, please? Because I'd love to know how to do it all in one hit. And so I know how to do it in the concept, but not in the heart and the emotions. Okay, next.
Okay. Where are we?
So yes, if anyone wants to come on live, if they've got a bit more of a
something that they want to chew into, dive into, it is easier for us to actually have these conversations real time, where we can drill in. And
the Zoom links at the top there in the comments or whatever it is.
Thank you, Sally.
And if you've got any physical conditions, any reoccurring problems like bumping your left knee, but be specific. So that'll help us to hone into it very quickly.
I don't know if we're ready to answer that one yet, John.
What is your take?
What is your take on the twin flame journey and separation?
Oh, yeah, no, we'll leave that one for the moment. But yes,
come back and ask us that in a month, Leon.
Yeah, 3 months or something, Leonie, because we're right in the middle of delving into that at the moment. So we won't answer that one until we get clearer on it.
All right, a lot of psychic ones. They want us to do psychic readings. We'd rather dive in.
Yeah, I'd rather dive into the intuitive stuff and help people work it out at the moment. The psychic stuff, as I said, we're just in the middle of chaos here, still moving around. We've got to move again in the morning to another hotel for a week. And so, I'd rather just stick to the ones where intuitive help the people to understand the intuitive meanings of the situations that are going on around them. Their bodies are talking to them.
So Amanda, I don't know necessarily if we're going to be able to answer you, but we can recommend a tool that we have, which is check in with your inner guru. So you're asking, I need help to make a sad decision, a second one in a month. Will I be okay? We've got a tool, right?
Yeah.
Which is basically checking in with your intuition. We call it check in with your inner guru. You want to give them the rundown of that one?
Yeah, so when all of our, like, that's the default check-in tool that we use. So everything is checking in. We call it checking in because God is inside of you, the universe is inside of you, the whole world's inside of you. And this is why, as above, so below, man, know thyself. All of these things that have been in every spiritual tradition throughout history, they're all saying the same thing. Check with the God inside. How do you do that? Enlightenment. What does enlightenment mean? It means you feel lighter.
Yeah.
So when you get a yes answer, you feel lighter. When you get a no answer, you feel heavier. And if you're not sensitive enough to the feelings, you can just watch your posture.
Yeah.
So a no will make you hunch over just a little bit, just a millimeter or two. Don't expect to
go down.
Just look at your face. Does your cheeks, does your eyes lift up a little bit?
Even do it in front of a mirror, right? Look at yourself in front of the mirror.
So go, okay, should I do this or should I do that? And if you get a neutral, there is a neutral that is you haven't asked the right question.
Yeah.
Which again, this is a little bit more difficult, but just go with the simpler ones. Does it feel light or heavy? Does that feel right? If it feels right, it's light, as you say.
Yeah.
And so just say, and I think the sad decision you've got to make is not entirely yours to make. So just go, okay, there's this, when you ask each question, say, should I do this or should I do that? And see which one feels lighter. One of them will feel lighter. And say, is it my decision to ask? Is it like, if it's a decision for someone else, for a loved one or whatever, then ask their soul. Let's say it was your mum, your mum's higher self. Is this what should be done? Is this for the good of all? Is this the right thing to do? Yes. And when you say yes, you sit up a bit? Or when you say no, do you sit up a bit? And just repeat it a few times. Yes, no, yes, no. Because you can trick yourself with it. At first you don't. It gets really easy at first, but after a while it gets very tricky because the intellect learns it and starts to trick you with it a bit. But just go with if it's light, it's right, and only do what you can do. There is no, everything will be okay, absolutely, because once you understand that there is no ending, like energy can't end and we are energy, so whatever reincarnation is, whatever that is to anyone, it's just a continuation of life in a different way. So,
okay. Andrea, Holland, my mid back keeps on hurting. What's blocked?
Mid back, I'm guessing it's right behind your shoulder blades. It should be the back of the heart chakra. Mm-hmm. Right. So the back of the heart chakra, or a little bit lower. There is a line between the solar plexus and the heart chakra.
Right in here is kind of where I'm getting.
So that's the back of the solar plexus, which is your self-esteem on a physical level. So your self-esteem in the physical, that's the fire element as well, which runs off the solar plexus. So this is past hurts that have affected your self-esteem, decisions or things that people have done that you've allowed to, beat your self-esteem down, get your personal self-esteem down. And this is your self-esteem on a worldly sense, in the lower three chakras, which is in the world. So your strength, your courage, all these things reside in there. So one of the things you can do, start focusing on yellow a little bit more, like wear yellow undergarments if you can, eat yellow foods. Not that there's a lot of them, like squash or banana or something like that. Use candles a lot. Use the fire element. Just sit there and imagine breathing in and out the fire element. These things will all start to strengthen that. And stop judging yourself and stop judging the events. Good luck, bad luck. You don't know the whole story. That's one of our favorite stories that we use quite often. It's in most spiritual traditions, most teachers have said it. There's an old Chinese guy and he has a young son and he's got this beautiful horse, and the king comes down and offers to buy the horse for him for a fortune, and he says, no, I can't sell him, my horse is beautiful. The horse runs away and all the village people come around and say, oh, that's such bad luck, you could have got big money for your horse, now you haven't got one. And anyway, this story goes on, and one thing looks like good luck at first and then it looks like bad luck to other people, but to the end they see it's just all part of the ebbs and flows. So it's like good luck, bad luck. One thing that, some of the things that I thought were the greatest luck, turned into very big challenges in my life and vice versa. So don't judge on that. So try and release those judgments. And because it's in the back, it's all about the past.
Yeah.
So you know that. So you
So
know that
it may have been true of you back then.
Yes, yes.
You know?
One of our tools, we say that, that may have been true. You know, I may have been weak, or I may have been easily manipulated, but that was an old me. That was not this me. That was the me from the past. That's a different version. That's me 1.0. This is me 3.3. So
you just refer to yourself as the previous version. That was the previous version of me.
Yes.
You know, and if I had what I knew now, going forward, I won't judge myself based on decisions I made in the past, because I've changed, and this is what I've got to work with going forward.
Okay. So
Marina
Davis.
I have a dicky right big toe. Sorry, the right side of my lower back pops out, and I have a frozen right shoulder.
Okay. So all this right stuff generally is going to be male, or about your physical direction, or it'll be a mixture of both in this case, because you've got all three: your shoulder, the lower back, and the big toe. So the lower back and the big toe have to do with base chakra stuff. So your base chakra, so this is your foundations, your survival. So either a male or your physical direction in the survival is just not flowing properly. So you're worrying too much, or there's a male, a husband or a father or something like that. It's usually the closest males to us, son, husband or father, that is just causing you a lot of difficulty, maybe indirectly, not necessarily directly, but you're relying on them. Or, for me, when my father was here, I wouldn't do certain things because my dad wouldn't like it, back in the day. And that would sort of interfere with my physical path. And so your physical path seems to be tied closely to a male, and so that's interfering with where you need to head physically. So your physical path is things like your work, your career, the things in the physical world more than the spiritual world. And it's going to be these males, one or two of these males, either father, husband, or son. It's usually the ones close to you, are there. They're getting in your way. It's annoying you. It's not allowing you to move through your life on the physical direction the way you want to. And the shoulder one is more about being flexible in taking actions on your daily practices. So the shoulders are about the start. The arms are about your daily practices. So what you do every day. So rituals. So physical rituals like brushing your teeth, having a shower, the way you eat. These are still rituals. And being a little bit more flexible in them, and being a bit more flexible in what you do on the physical. And again, I'm guessing it'll be mainly because of a male. It feels like there's male, like husband or father, that you're limiting yourself because of their beliefs. They may be limiting you, or you may be limiting yourself because of their beliefs.
Yeah, it feels like they're overshadowing you.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that they're doing it on purpose either. It's just that you have, like with my father, I had too much respect for him, and that interfered with me because I couldn't do my way because I was putting my father's ways in front of mine. So
whoever you just thought of then.
Yeah, whoever you just thought of then. That's the one that just. That was the one. That's the shoulder one that just
cleared. Just went out. So I'm guessing you just.
Yeah, I just felt that too.
Hit the nail on the head.
So whoever that was.
That
was the one. So you just got to respect them, but you just got to respect yourself first. So okay, we'll move on.
Okay, Tracy Murray. My left heel, sole, and toes of my foot are numb and extremely painful most nights. I believe I injured it 10 weeks ago and have been trying natural therapy since with no improvement.
So the left heel,
sole, and toes.
Yeah, left heel, sole, and toes. First of all, you're going to have probably going to have a jam up in the tailbone area and the lower spine as well. So one of the things I'd be working on is massage is always the best for that. I've had enough injuries to know that by now. The numb feeling also is that. So the heel, sole of the foot, and the toe, this is all about your grounding on your left side. So either female or your spiritual direction. It feels like it's more spiritual than the female. So you need to start looking, it feels like you need to start looking at grounding yourself on the spiritual direction and start doing things your way. Maybe stop letting some other females like mum or daughters or whatever interfere with that as well, like their beliefs, not them directly again. The numbness, is there an entity based from the numbness? Truth, is there an entity? Yes, no, yes. No, truth is there. Okay. I think we've got an entity there, one, Tracy. So I'll try and clear that for you just after we finish the live. So I'll just write your name down there. I think there's also an entity. I had a couple the other day. I had numbness down the back of my neck, and after the move, and I was blaming all the heavy lifting and stuff, and I found out I had about fucking 400 entities that I picked up on the 2,000k trip down here.
All these.
So, because I've had
smashed crossing the border.
Got smashed crossing the border. We had like a whole tribe of them. I was like, there was about 200 entities that I picked up, and so. That numbness feeling was their bodies that I was feeling transposing. So there's a little bit of that, Tracy, but I'll clear that one very easily afterwards.
Yeah.
But you've really got to look at grounding yourself on with your own decisions spiritually, where you're headed, what direction you're headed in, and maybe look at a little bit of massage for the lower back as well, because that's the numbness is can be caused from the pinching the vertebrae in the lower back.
All right, Rowena put, I have pain in my second and third chakras, and I work on them. What is my blocks?
I'm working on them, your block.
Yeah. Sorry to say.
So to say you're working too much on them.
Trying too hard.
Don't work on them ones, right? I'm not denying the pain. A lot of it's going to be return to sender in those chakras. The first three chakras, so much shit in those chakras is other people's stuff, because they're all the emotional ones. And they're all to do with the soul. They're all to do with the physical body. They're to do with the basic, worldly survival things. Work on the heart, right?
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm getting.
Right, and just keep pulling that. When you feel it, just pull everything up to what I call the sacred heart, or the heart of hearts. Mm-hmm. That's the true heart.
Holy.
Some people call it the high heart. There's many different names for it. You call it the sacred heart if you want. In there, everything is dealt with, and if you bring it up, everything is transformed and thrown out that is not of the true you. Or try and look at our videos on the YouTube channel, which will give you the return to sender. Are they my feels?
Are they my feels?
It's called Are They My Feels. And so a lot of stuff, especially down there. So every time you feel the pain in that, just feel the pain, focus on the pain, and say, is that mine? Right, the pain. Don't answer whether it is or not, or you can say, who does it belong to? But just try, is that mine? Feel the pain. Does the pain get a little bit less as you're feeling it? You can try this right now if you're feeling any of it. Say, is that mine? If the pain should get a touch less. So if it was a 9 out of 10, it might drop down to an 8.5 or an 8 out of 10, right? Only a little bit. And then you just say return to sender, or piss off, or get the fuck out of here. Whatever you want to say. Just it's not yours. It's not yours to deal with. Taking on people's shit does not help them. And we all do this subconsciously. We all do it because we did it as children, and we do it without even thinking about it. So just focus on those things. First of all, try that. And then after you've tried that, and repeat it, for each chakra, just go, okay, that's the nave one. You might have to repeat it 10, 15 times. Go, okay, they've got a little bit less. Feel the pain again. Is that mine? No, fuck off, piss off. Okay, is that mine? No, it feels lighter. Okay, get rid of it. Is that mine? No, get the shit. Get out, and repeat it.
Doing it.
And then when it gets to a point where it feels like, then pull all of your focus up to the heart. Use your hand on your heart and pull that energy up. So pull myself up and let myself come and rest up in my heart, and that will help to transform the rest of it. It's a bit of a process, but the return to sender part is massive for the lower three chakras. Okay, so if anyone wants to come on live, they're quite welcome. They can click on the Zoom link at the top. And if they've got a few more in-depth questions about, health.
So Marie Matthews, I've read daily meditation can help develop my intuition. Can you recommend some daily practices? In the top of the Facebook Live, there's a link to our YouTube. Go on there and have a look at our tools videos, our consciousness tools videos. If you're looking to develop your intuition, there's I think 6 or so tools we've got there, which are all based on the first one, which you probably heard us talk about earlier. Checking in with your inner guru. All the tools will then build off of that one, and they're all around developing your intuition.
So we've got 9 basic tools that we use on an ongoing basis. We've got 4 of them so far on the YouTube. We will be teaching a course on that, and they do go in depth. They're very simple to use, straight up. But then as the intellect learns them, then you can start tricking yourself with them a little bit. But they are the best tools to use on top of your meditation.
Okay, Haley Tuck. I suffer chronic fatigue and lethargy. Sleep and rest doesn't seem to help. Medically, I'm told I'm okay. What could it be?
Again, I would go straight to return to sender.
Yep.
Or Are They My Feels?
Are They My Feels?
Look at our video on YouTube called Are They My Feels? most people that I find that suffer from chronic fatigue and lethargy just take on everybody else's stuff. You just take everyone else's stuff on, whether it's through your thoughts or your feelings or your emotions. Some people aren't aware they take it on. They're just magnets to it. It's usually an indication, I find, of somebody who's, weak people don't get chronic fatigue because they just don't take on people's shit. It seems to be always strong people that do it. And when I'm talking strong souls, strong internal people, not necessarily physically strong. I'm talking people who are their soul is strong. So, but taking people's stuff on, whether you're doing it on purpose or whether you're doing it unknowingly because it's just a pattern we've had since we were children, is really doesn't help anyone. Because first of all, we think, as a child, we take on the sickness from mum, we'll take the cold off her so she doesn't get sick. So who's going to look after me if she gets sick? Now we don't, but we duplicate it. We mimic it, and then we duplicate it in ourselves. Now mum's got the cold and we've got the cold. Now we're both freaking sick. So we've created more, or more so with, say, worry, or we do it more with worry, or we do it more with sadness. We try and take off their sadness or whatever. And then that just becomes a habit that we continue on. So we started when we were 2 or 3 years old and we didn't even realize it. And so this is what we do. And then subconsciously that's running all the time. So are they my feels, that we call it now?
Yeah.
It's like, say, feel again, like I was saying to the other person, feel that lethargy, feel that fatigue, right? We just came to Melbourne, right? And we're used to being a little bit out of the city.
Yep.
The feelings and the emotions that I went through for the first 3 days were just insane, because we're right in the heart of Melbourne.
Yep.
And I'm just so not used to a lot of the feelings and emotions that are around here.
Very different.
And I wasn't even checking in that well myself for the first 2 or 3 days because they were just new ones. I'm so used to checking in the area that I lived in for the last 20 years, which are always very similar. This had just such a variety. So I had to go back to this tool quite a lot. So, I'm feeling like, I'm starving all the time. I'm freaking starving. I'm so hungry. I'm like, I just fucking ate. I only eat 1 meal a day. I'm not hungry. And I'm like, is that my hunger? No. Okay, gets less hungry. Okay, return to sender or piss off or get out of here.
Yeah.
You can do the same with the fatigue and that. But with the chronic fatigue and with the lethargy, it will take a fair bit more. And you've got to do this over and over again, because that's usually picked up, you could be picking up that off millions of people, literally. Yeah. Sounds like a really strong sensitive or empath, as they like to call it now. And you're probably got the ability to pick up, like in a city like this, you can pick up 5 million people at once. Their fears or their...
I had it with my smile. I mean, I smile a lot, and then for a couple of days there, it sort of just occurred to me I wasn't really smiling much, and I was just picking up these copious amounts of unhappiness.
Yeah.
This I don't want to smile, unhappiness, and I just did that too. I was just like, is that mine? And I'm like, get out, fuck off, get out of my space.
get out.
And I would literally just feel my smile come back up and my cheeks rise.
Yeah. As I say in the our biblical term, cast it out. It's not true. It's not true of oneness. It's not true of the infinite. So it's not true of me. So cast it out.
Tara Ross, first time here. I keep getting throbbing, aching pain in both forearms and headaches. Can you tell me?
So generally, the forearms are about, again, when we're talking about arms, we're talking about daily practice. So the throbbing, aching pains in both forearms, it can be a little bit of toxic buildup. So first of all, let's cover that. So the body has a tendency to push all toxins, once they can't deal with them, to the extremities. So if you drink a lot of town water with all that fluoride and crap in it, it'll build up in the body to preserve the major organs. The feet are usually the first to go, and then the hands and that. This is why old people get the arthritis and that. It pushes all the toxins to the edge. So a little bit of a detox may be required. But I'm thinking it's more about your daily practices, both for your physical and your spiritual practices. So things like, breathing is a spiritual practice. Just staring out, like in long distance, that can be. You don't have to do meditation.
Yeah.
Just staring, looking at nature is a spiritual practice. But you need to. These are our daily practices, what we're doing on a regular basis. So the aching and the pain is often because you're carrying everyone else's shit. You're trying to do all of this work for all of these other people. And the headaches is tying into that, because headaches generally are involved into holding on to old limitations. So It's different if it's at the front of the head or the back of the head. So there's slightly different interpretations. So it'd be easier if I knew the front or the back. But generally, it's just holding on to old limitations. So just drop all the bags you're carrying from everyone else, doing everyone's work, and just start focusing on your own. Be the change you want to see. You know, the change is if everyone looked after themselves. Most people are going around, look, I'll take care of you and you take care of me. It's like, but I know what I want. You know what you want. So why don't you fucking take care of you and I'll take care of me? And then there's a lot less work because it's pretty easy just to take care of me. Yeah. But to take care of everyone else, it's really hard work because I don't even know what they want half the time, even when I think I do.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Nikki Stevens, sore left hip. Any ideas?
Left hip, Nikki. Okay. So generally, Nikki, the hip, it's a pivot point. It's a lot about flexibility. It's about being flexible with yourself, with your spiritual path, or with women. So if it's sort of in the back of the hip, it's usually issues about the past. If it's in the side of the hip, side or front, it's more about present issues or future issues. So the soreness is maybe not letting go and not being flexible in what you need to do for your direction for you or for your spiritual direction. You're probably taking on other people's beliefs, like mums or sisters or daughters or something like that.
Yeah.
So it seems to be more in the side, which is about the side issues on the body are generally about the present moment, about this. Like anything on the back is usually about the past, anything on the front. So worrying about the future or worrying about the past or anything on the side is usually about the now. So yeah, it seems to be through that. It seems to be gallbladder meridian as well. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit of the gallbladder meridian. So that's about not using your gall. It's about getting angry about not doing things your way. Yeah. And just being a little bit more flexible. And that flexibility might be just telling mum or sisters or whoever, the best friend or whoever it is, to piss off and fucking, not in a disrespectful way, but just, hey, that's your way. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but let me do things my way. Yeah. Let me try it out this way. Just give me a break. The same thing doesn't have to be done the same way. So the same thing can be done many different ways. So just push that back a little bit. Have a little gall, have a little, use that anger to go, fuck this, I'm enough, I'm done. So
just tell them to sit back and relax.
Yeah, sit back, relax. So yes. So what else we got?
Okay, where are we? Done that one. I'm just going back up through to see if we've missed any.
Done all of them. Go back to them.
All right. Melbourne is treating us well, Angela. Thank you.
Yes.
We're aiming to get our new place, permanent place or semi-permanent place next weekend. So not much longer to go. But yeah, in amongst all that, we're still working through our shit and doing tools and developing the tools. So it's been fun. It's been quite the journey. What are you getting there, John?
Just D.
D.
Dimmick, yep. So estranged daughter or
ex-daughter-in-law stopped me from seeing my granddaughter 2 years ago, and until then she was in my life until she was 10.
Yes, look, this is a difficult one, D. I'm talking to I'm right in the middle of the same thing. I've got 6 children myself and 2 grandchildren, and I had a little bit of an issue last year, and I said some things that maybe they didn't want to hear or whatever. And my daughter won't let me see my grandchildren at the moment, and that's been over 6 months now. And my eldest 2, my eldest 3 kids, I was so close to. I'm still in a bit of shock that they did this, but I understand that it's part of the process. It's given me a bit of space. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't have been able to move down here. And I know the work that I'm doing on myself is always going to work for them too. So all the problems and all the situations I get myself through and change all my fears, that works for my children, whether they see me or not. The sins of the parents will be passed on to the children. So will the goals and the achievements of the parents. So maybe it's just giving you a little bit of space to work on yourself. The dreams are that you said you're coming in your dreams, so you're already doing the work. In the dreams, we do a lot of our soul work in our dreams. And so you're still working with the grandchildren. They're still working with you. My other daughter said she's seen my grandkids, yesterday or today, and I sort of was talking to her on the phone, and I felt that, and I felt the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay, so the grandkids are still good. I haven't seen them for over 6 months, and that's a little bit of a shame, but I can feel my connection with them. It's still all good, and the work that I'm doing is actually benefiting them because I'm working on changing myself and releasing myself from all my fears and limitations. And that works whether we're in the vicinity of people or not. Passes on. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, no, good one. All right, Michelle. Hi guys. Have a pain in my left hand, arm, and left side of chest. It's been going for quite a few months. Any idea, any input would be greatly appreciated.
So what was the left arm? Left hand,
arm, and left side of chest.
Okay, so this is all heart chakra based stuff. A lot of the arms has also got to do with heart chakra. So this is the heart chakra. This is the sadness, and it's saying chest, so it's the front. You're sort of feeling that you're a bit sad about your journey, your spiritual journey, and where you're going. And so the pain is actually trying to tell you that whatever you're thinking is going to happen is not going to happen.
Yep.
This is one of our tools that we teach. Every pain is a lie, we call it, which is, that's the exaggeration of it to try and hit home.
To be provocative.
So the pain is your intuition speaking to you, going either what you're thinking about or the result of what you're thinking about. So you might be thinking, oh, well, I can't, I want to teach I want to teach meditation, but I can't because I've got to do all of this. And then you get the pain. The pain is telling you, you can teach a spiritual thing. Maybe you can't do it right now. It doesn't mean the whole thing of what you're thinking about is incorrect.
Yeah, there's generally an element of truth in there.
Yeah.
But it's what you're thinking on that truth.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that it might result in something in the future, or it might have a certain impact in a certain way.
Yeah. And so
that's the lie.
It'll be doing things for yourself. It's about doing things for you on a daily basis. The arms are about your regular daily routines. So even if it's just as simple as having a little bit more time to go for a walk in the park, go for a walk along the beach in the morning or something like that. That's quite a spiritual thing to do, is to get up early and go for a walk. People talk about spiritual practices as being meditation. They're very much limited to that. But sitting there and staring and doing open eye meditation, going for a walk in nature is a very spiritual thing to do. So I think you're telling yourself that you can't do these things on a regular basis. You haven't got time to go to classes or meditation. The pain is there to try and tell you that's not true. You can make time. You can make it happen.
Yeah.
Just let the other people do what they need to do and stop trying to do everything for everyone.
Yeah. And also sometimes when we do clear these things, and the intellect can then try to bring those little pains back, right? And so then you might actually clear it, and then a couple of days later it'll be back, and you'll think that it's back again, and then you'll start trying to clear it again, and you can actually have the reverse effect.
Yeah, you can recreate it, but trying to clear it. So
that's why it's always important to just check in first and just say, okay,
keep checking in. If it's light, it's right.
If it's light, it's right.
It's heavy, it's lie.
So is that my pain? No. All right. Nice try. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably now, because it's in the chest, you're probably going, oh, that's a heart issue. That's a heart issue. Look, if it's a freaking heart issue, I used to get that one a lot because I had an arrhythmia.
Yeah.
And, if it's a heart issue, it's going to come up like that. It's not going to cause pain and just linger there for a long time. There is, and again, please, guys, we don't diagnose.
We don't do diagnosis.
Anything medically. Always check with your doctor. Don't fucking use us as an excuse.
You can see our face. We're not dentists.
We're not professionals. So always check with your doctor on that. But yes, it's generally the fact that and because it's in the chest and the arm, it's about the future. It's worrying about what you can or can't do in the near future. So, and on a regular daily basis, routine wise, weekly basis.
Angela, what's that about? My right knee is flared up once again. Do you believe it's a blockage?
Yeah.
My throat chakra just went as I was reading that for you.
So the right knee, again, this is being flexible in your physical direction or flexible with a male. So is it the back of your knee, Angela, or the front of your knee, or the whole knee? The back is a bit different from the front. But it's about being flexible in your direction or being flexible with a male. Be flexible and give them a kick up the arse and tell them to take care of themselves for a bit, while you do something for you. So that's part of being flexible. But the knee bends, and it's a lot to do with the solar plexus. The knees, the elbows have got to do with the solar plexus. It's about your personal will, your self-esteem, and stuff like that. So it's time to be flexible.
It's the back.
The back, yeah. So you're picking up old issues, telling yourself because of old reasons why you can't be flexible.
Yep.
So, oh, but if I did that, when I used to do that, he'll get upset and he'll fucking storm out, or he'll go to the pub and get drunk.
Yeah, there's an element of your words in this somehow.
Yeah. So
and maybe either
if I
holding back or not holding back.
If I say that to him, then he'll do this and he'll blow up. And you got to go, that's the past. And that might have been true in the past, but maybe that's not true anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's changed now. You don't say that's not true. You just say maybe it's not true anymore. Maybe that's how he used to react, but I've changed and he's changed because everybody changes every day. Maybe that won't happen if I say it this time, but maybe I've grown to say it in a different way. So my delivery might make him take it differently, and maybe I can say it more flexibly.
It makes more sense. I always hold back. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
it feels as though that perhaps maybe don't do that, but when you change that and actually speak, just don't be reactive.
So what is your body doing, right? And it's holding fluid at the back of your knee. That's swelling up is fluid, right? So you've used the words, always hold back. So it's always holding back. So your body's holding fluid back behind your knee, which is causing the inflammation. And inflammation is getting inflamed, but it's your inner self trying to go, fucking say something, fucking do something, right? That's the inflammation. We get inflamed inside. We get all flamed up. That's why it's knee. That's why it's solar plexus. That's the fire element in the solar plexus chakra. So that causes that. And that inflammation is us not speaking our truth. And it's hard because when you bottle it up, often it'll come out really and burst out inappropriately. But, you just apologize if it does that. So look, I said that harshly. I meant what I said, but I didn't need to say it that harshly. You can always pull that harshness back. Don't worry about that delivery at all.
Okay, Alison, thanks for reposting. So left big toe on the top side of the joint with I'm going to say this tarsal, metatarsal.
Yeah.
Feels like arthritis, again with the throat.
Yeah.
Not that I've had arthritis before. Comes and goes every day.
Yeah.
So look, do that one first.
Yeah. So it's the arthritis is the acidic thoughts or feelings. And so it's in the big toe. It's the same as the thumb. These got to do with base chakra. So there's a lot of acid thoughts or acid emotions or acid feelings around the base chakra. And so which is the base chakra is all about like safety and security. Yeah. So solar plexus, I would say a lot because you've gone up to the metatarsal and that.
Yeah.
So it's probably more in the solar plexus about the emotions and that. So there's a lot of acidic emotions there that need to be expressed. You need to have, find a place. If you can find a group where they do emotional release stuff, or just pick your own times and go and fucking punch into a pillow and cry into a pillow or whatever, or go out in nature and do it and spit on the ground and fuck you. And
it's also getting regular weekly headaches at the back of the head around the
occipital. Yeah. So that again, that's blocking your power. There's a lot of power issues in that part of the head. It's also holding on to old limitations. So a lot of this stuff, the reason you're carrying this stuff and the reason you're doing this stuff, it probably was true at one stage, right? And now you're thinking, I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of that. That's old stuff. It's not true anymore. It doesn't have to be true anymore. You're making it true now by saying you can't, but it doesn't have to be. It's like, especially the back of the head, it's holding on to old limitations. So all the reasoning that you're using for whatever it is that you're not expressing, for not following your feelings, for not listening to your own feelings and going with your gut, they may have been, you've got to say, yes, that might have been true before, and these people might have reacted, and I might have done it wrong, but now I'm a different person, and that's not necessarily going to happen. So you just talk yourself through it slowly. And if you blow up, like all these emotional ones and lower, they're emotions of sadness, right? So you will find yourself like, just if you tap into it and you go down there, you'll feel like an ocean of sadness. If I go there, I'll cry and I won't stop crying for months or years, and it's not true. It just feels that big because you haven't dealt with it for a long time. If you can give yourself a little bit of space every now and then, just fucking, even if you've got a family at home or whatever, just pull up in the car somewhere and just fucking near a park and just go, fuck it, I just want to dig into these. I'm going to give myself half an hour. Just let myself feel it and cry it out, but don't buy into it again.
Yeah.
When you cry it out, don't agree with it.
Just observe it. Yeah.
Just observe it. Go, oh, it's not fair. They did this and they did that, but don't agree with that. That's the body trying to release it. That's the emotions that you could have dealt with it mentally, but emotionally you haven't dealt with it, and the body wants to release it. It's not fair. Or how dare they do that to me? All of these poor me emotions, they need to be expressed, but don't buy into it and then go and use that to justify going, yeah, now I'm going to smash them, and now I'm going to, now I'm going to tear them apart. It's not for that reason.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite of that. It's to let it out because that's the acid that's building up. That's what's causing what feels like arthritis. It's the emotions that haven't been released. They need to come out with fluid. It's the only way I know how to do it. Yep. I've done it hundreds of times with hundreds of people, and the tears, the snot, the spit, they all have to be released with it. You've got to let them out, and that will get rid of that acidic buildup in the body. That's why the doctors in that say there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
They won't pick any of that up.
Just quickly back to Angela. My saying is, do I want to be right or happy? And that you choose silence always. Sometimes, that's obviously not working for you now.
Yeah.
Right now. No. So that what I would say to you if we were having a session, I'd be like, how's that working for you?
Yeah.
There are other ways of getting this out, right?
First of all, always is a really bad word.
It's a really bad word.
Because then there is times when I don't choose silence always. I prefer to choose silence. I like to choose silence, but if necessary, and silence is going to hurt certain people are going to get hurt if I don't speak up.
Yeah.
So, I prefer to choose silence. So change that. I prefer to choose silence. I err on the side of silence, but I choose silence always. That's the throat blockage. That's what John was getting at before.
Yeah.
Do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? There is no right or wrong ultimately.
Yeah.
That man creates right and wrong. But it's not a true creation in the universe. In oneness, there is no right and wrong. Everything just is. But we can create right and wrong. And we can have we can have the right facts, but that's only for now. The facts change.
Yeah.
Look at science. The science is always changing. They got the right facts, and then 10 years later, those facts no longer exist. So.
And some of the time, it's just acknowledging and a willingness to say whatever it is that you think you want to say to them, right? Yeah. So it's not necessarily that half the time it could be perhaps that you go, okay, cool, fuck it, I'm going to say it this time. And then you might find the very next thing that they say to you just dispels all that. Or they may even come out with whatever it was that you were going to point out, right? Exactly. That happens very frequently, but you need to be willing to actually say it.
I will say it in the moment if I need to. You start saying that to yourself. I'll err on the side of silence, but I will choose to speak if I need to. I will say what I need to say, but I won't burst it out all the time. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the session, guys. We've got to probably do one or so more. Okay, so go Sally there because there's a double. This is a recurring problem. It looks like.
Yeah. So So Sally Flannery, right ankle, fell downstairs. Second time this year, not broken. Two other people in my family fell down the stairs in the same week. Ankle is swollen, ligament damage.
So ligaments are about control. The swelling is the inflammation is the build up. So the right ankle, this will be about your physical direction. So you're not being flexible or not controlling or trying to over control your physical direction or your direction with a male. So it could be your father, your husband, or your son. Usually it's the closest males to you. It could be brother as well. But it's the ligaments are about, so you're stretching or tearing the ligaments. So there's either too much control or not enough control. And so the inflammation is there. And it's not being flexible enough in your direction with the males or your physical direction. It could be about your job or your house, where you live.
Or family related if you've got a few of you's fallen down.
So this might be about where you're living, what you're doing, if there's a family business or something like that. If it's happening to a few people, everyone's interfering with each other's physical direction. Everyone needs to start choosing where they're going physically.
Everyone needs to relax.
Or maybe you've got a really strong dad in the family and everyone's just listening too much to him. Respect him, but you don't have to, you can respect without having to do it their way. You can respect them and respect yourself. So just, you've either got too much control or not enough control with the physical or the male. So tell yourself you'll start doing the opposite of it, and it should heal a lot faster. Go, okay, I'm going to I'm going to loosen up my control.
Instead of husband and father, yes.
Yeah. So
okay, cool.
So just say I'm going to give myself some more control, or I'm going to loosen up my control, whichever it is. If you're too controlling, you loosen up some of your control. If you're not controlling enough, then tighten up some of your control on yourself and let them do their thing.
Yeah. Watch it change around
you. Just, you watch the ankle can heal like 2-3 times faster.
Yes.
So if anyone wants readings, we're doing online readings for people. We'll still do the moving special at the moment, so we'll do the half price.
price.
So we can do
75
75 for half an hour.
or 150 for an hour.
150 for an hour. That's the half price. It's normally 150 for half an hour.
Yep.
300 for an hour. So we're doing them now. We'll continue that half price special.
We'll do that
for
this week or 2
We'll
weeks.
do 2 more weeks of that. So if anyone wants personal readings, we come on live. We may do, if you want to chuck a like and a comment on the BQuest page, we might do 1 or 2 more free ones as well.
Yep.
For the people who like and comment and, on our BQuest Wellbeing Facebook page. We might do 1 or 2 free ones this week as well. So, yes, guys, we're
awesome.
Thank you for joining us. We missed it last week, and it feels like a long time when we go 2 weeks between.
Yeah, it felt like ages since our last live.
We're a little bit tired ourselves from all the moving and that at the moment, but it's
Yep.
been great tonight. And we'll be back next week again, and we'll be starting classes in Melbourne for any of the
Yes.
Melbournians in probably about 2 to 3 weeks once we
Get
find
ready.
a location. So
Get
we'll be
ready.
doing the live classes, and we may broadcast them live as well. So
Absolutely.
thanks, guys.
Alrighty, guys.
Bless.
Thanks for tuning in. See
Thanks
you
a
next
lot.
week.
Bye.